I had another video for you guys tonight, and it is ranking of the Phantom Troupe members from worst to best, right? In power. So at the bottom of the barrel, we have Kortopi. Now, Kortopi, he is a. Let me see. He's a conjurer. He can conjure up. Basically, during York New City, right? He created clones of the Phantom Troop members' dead bodies, made it look like they died. They then went to the auction, and Corto P was making replicas or copies of these like artifacts and all these things they were auctioning off. They got the real items. The Phantom Troop took the real items, and then you know the auction went off without any problems. But other than like copying and you know um, you know copying other items that he touches, he ain't really a combatant. But the next person on this list, and he was at number 13, right? Because there's 13 of them on this list. I got Pakunoda. Pakunoda, she is one of the Phantom Troop members. She's she's a killer. She does her job. She was able to shoot some information into their heads before she died about what had happened with Chrollo and chain user and all that. But she, what is she? She's a, oh man, what is she? I don't know what she is. Sorry, y'all. Don't know what her Nen type is. She's one of the weaker members. I got her at number 12. She ended up dying during York New City. That's why I got her low. But then at number 11, I have Shizuku. Shizuku is the girl with glasses, right? She has conjuring abilities, I believe. I think it's conjuring. Real Hunter fans know all the Nen typing, right? I like Hunter x Hunter, but not as much as other people do. It's not in my top 10, but it is a good anime, and you've got to watch it. So, Shizuku, she was there in York New City. She arm wrestled Gon. She forgot about it. Gon came back later, and they're like, "That's that boy who arm wrestled you and beat you." And she's like, "No, I wouldn't lose to a boy. I ain't the strongest, but I wouldn't lose to a boy." And they were like, "Yeah, he did. But you used your weak arm." She remembered, so she got some points off for that. But then later on, she started, using a vacuum cleaner. This vacuum cleaner ain't weak. It can suck blood out of people, like weaker opponents. So she's, got her little Nen ability. She's a conjurer, I think. And then at number 10, I have Kalluta, Soul Dick. That's Killua's sibling, right? Kalluta went and Kalluta joined the Phantom Troop after Pakunoda died, and after York New City, and Kalluta was there in Meteor City fighting against Zazan with all the other ants or spiders. My bad. With all the other spiders, they're fighting against her, and she was just getting used to how they do things. She's there as a spy, I think, for the family, and most people know for like her family, the Zoldyck family, to watch their movements and whatnot. But Kalluta, I don't remember what her Nen ability is. I think she's a manipulator. Um, she's gonna be at number 10. I think she could beat everybody below her. At number 9, oh wait, Kortopi's 13, Pakunoda 12, Shizuku 11. Oh yeah, Shalnark is at number 9. Shalnark is able to control people. He's a manipulator. He has a little thing he attaches to the back of your head, and he can control you, and use you, as he wants. He has a little remote control that he was killing people, before they went to the auction and did their thing. So it's useful, and he is a combatant who can do things like that. He can turn people into puppets, essentially. He's a manipulator. So he's at number 9, though. I got Machi above him at number 8. She, right? She uses Nen stitching. See, she stitched back Hisoka's arms after he fought against Castor in the, Heaven's Arena. She was also, I think she caught going with in Kilo with the, Nen stitches too. She's a, capable combatant. You know, she ain't beating anybody above her, I don't think, but she could beat the people below her. I definitely think she got that. Now Bonolenov, right? This guy named Bonolenov, he's number 7. This guy, he's powerful. He uses the holes on his body. What is he though? Machi's a conjurer and Shalnark manipulator. Bonolenov is a conjurer. He has that Jupiter move he uses, right? He was fighting against these Chimerians. He was doing pretty decently. He comes from that special tribe, and he joined them, the Phantom Troupe. He's doing his thing, right? Now, above him, I actually do have Franklin, the Frankenstein. This guy, some might have him below Bonolenov, but I think he's tough. Big guy, tough, like somebody else who's on this list, who's also deceased, but I still have him on the list. He he can spring up guns. Like, hold on, what's this man? This man's a conjurer, right? No, he's an emitter. My bad. Mr. Franklin is an emitter. We got him at number 7 as an emitter. And he can emit bullets from his fingers. He can emit to put you out. But he's a big, tough guy too. Now he ain't the strongest, but he's durable is what I'm saying. So I kind of have him above him. Now at number 6, I have Nobunaga of the Phantom Troupe. Nobunaga is an enhancer. He uses a sword, right? He's a samurai, a ronin. He anything in that in his personal area, he puts up a nen barrier or a nen field, and then anything that comes in contact with that, he can slice that. If it even touches the barrier, he knows it's in there. It's in range. He can quick draw and you're cut through. Cut in half, slice through. Guy's real cutthroat. I got him at number 6. I think he's one of those guys. He was arm wrestling Gon. He was, beating him for a while. He's you're an enhancer, Let's keep doing this arm wrestling thing. Let's see how good you actually are. He beat him a couple times, before Gon got serious. Um, but at number 5, I got Sphinks. This guy, he's strong, he's tough. When he was fighting, and this is what sold me on him being in the top 5. He was like, okay, you want me to hit you one time, right? He was talking to this Chimera. This Chimera was like, yeah, you get one hit on me, human. And he's like, okay. He starts winding up. Hold on, what is he? He's an enhancer too. So he's enhancing his, punches, right? Or his one punch that he's gonna do to this guy, and he just eliminates him. I think he cranked it up like, I don't know, 10 times. And then the Chimera was trying to take it back. He was like, no, 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 and dead, one hit. I was like, all right. This guy's probably in the top 5. Now at number 4, I have Uvogin. Now he's deceased, but before he died, he was like at number 4, if you ask me. Like all time, Phantom Troupe member, he'd be at number 4. Physically the strongest, like, striking power and lifting power. There's nobody, beating him, right? We've seen like what he could do with his screams and other things. He, made people deaf. He was really fucking those guys up during the New York New City arc, and he actually broke Kurapika's arm too. But luckily for Kurapika, he knew how to, use his nen abilities too. He tried to turn the tables on Kurapika, but it was just, one of those things where, it wasn't in his favor that day. And he was an enhancer too. But he was definitely like the 4th most powerful. Because at number 3, I have Feitan. Feitan's a quick guy. He's like a Hiei variant. This guy's fast. So Gon was able to slam Nobunaga's hand down, and then Feitan was right there like, hey boy, don't even try to fucking make a move, I'll break your arm. He was there, and like, he was there fast, boy. Like, he wasn't wasting any time. He fucking grabbed his arm. He's like, boy, you better not fucking do it. Then later on, when they were fighting against the Chimera Ant Sazon, this bitch was trying to become the new queen. He's like, all right, you guys get out of here because I'm gonna use that move. And then Sphinx was like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here. He's gonna go the fuck off. He uses Pain Packer. This move annihilated the Ant Queen, or the Zazon, or whatever the fuck that, the Chimera Ant's name was. She was obliterated from that move. She got cooked. Phaeton's at number 3, and at number 2, I have Hisoka. Because he was in the Troupe for a little bit. Hisoka is really good at using his nen abilities. He likes to play with people. He has to act like he's not like that, and then really be like that. In the beginning of Hunter x Hunter, he killed Togari. This guy was like, I trained for 2 years just to beat you. And he's like, okay. And then he, like, basically does his technique better than him. But he's using his bungee gum technique. Then he fights in the Heavens Arena, and he's holding back against Gold. He's in every arc of, Hunter x Hunter except the, Chimera Ant. He probably could have beat some of those, ants. Or, yeah, he could have probably beat some of them. But his bungee gum, has the properties of rubber and gum. So it can stick to you, and it's also, stretchy. Elastic. That kind of thing. And he wanted to fight Chrollo. Chrollo couldn't fight him. Now in the manga, we don't get into the manga over here. And I'm reading it, but I ain't at that part yet. I'm almost there, but we ain't there. And number 1 is, and Hisoka is a transmuter, so is Phaeton. They're both transmuter, but at number 1, the specialist, Chrollo Lucifer. He appeared, and he was like, okay, I have to fight off two Zoldyck members. He got on the move. He was trying to figure out, how to steal these abilities. He was fighting, some powerful combatants, but he was still, trying to do his thing. He was doing decently for being, one guy versus, two. Had the fight drawn on longer, he probably could have stole one of their abilities and possibly could have beaten, both of them. If you ask me, it still would have been a tough fucking battle. He was like, that's a, tall order for somebody like me. They sent the Zoldyck family after my dude. He lost his Nen abilities to, Karapika. So basically, it has to be 4 or 5, conditions to be met, and he can steal your Nen ability. And that's pretty busted, right? That man is the leader of the Phantom Troupe. They respect him. He started the group. He's basically busted compared to all of his underlings, and he beat it. They fight in that manga, and I know he beats Hisoka, so he ain't weak by any stretch of the imagination. I believe he could probably beat some ants too if he was in the Chimera Ant arc. But be cool on the corner and let me know what you think about the ranking of the Phantom Troupe in the comments.